In this video we're going to be looking at layered pralines. Let's talk about the tray first of all. The tray comes in 3 different depths, 10, 12 and 15 millimeters. We first need to layer it with a silicone paper, completely coating the bottom of the tray. The depths of the actual trays is quite important for the pralines. The shallower tray would give you a single praline. The medium depth would give you a slightly thicker praline. The 15 mil depth would then allow you to give a double layered praline. So then we've lined the tray up, we've got silicone paper in. It's quite important you use silicone as well because this is a non-stick paper. And then we've got the bars that are designed for the thickness of each tray. The beauty about using these bars is that you can make your batches of slabs of praline to your own requirements. So by moving the bar up and down the tray, you can go for various portions. If you want to make 2 different types of pralines, you can just place the bar in the middle. Right, now I'm going to show you how to make a single layered praline. For this I'm using a praline paste, which I've cut down into smaller pieces and then just soften it down in the microwave so we can get it to a nice liquid state. Bearing in mind the basic principles again of not overheating the mixture as there's chocolate in there. So then if we take the mixture now, I'm going to work on 2 sides of the mould. Using a ladle, I'm going to add the praline to one side of the mould. Just easing it in with a spoon, making sure you get into the corners. And then just tapping down to level it off. On the second side, the other side of the tray, I'm going to put a small amount of praline to start with, basically just to cover the base. And once again, I'm working it in with a little spoon, getting into the corners. Then I'm going to take some pâte fouettée and just sprinkle it on top of the praline, which will give the praline a different crunchy texture. Then I'm going to take the praline and then just top this biscuit. Take your palette knife, smoothing it out. Doesn't matter if the biscuit now works into the actual praline, because this is probably a good thing because it'll hold it together better when cutting. And then just tap down once again to level off. What we do with this now is refrigerate it until the actual praline paste is set up sufficiently to cut. And that's depending on the product and obviously the temperature of the fridge. Right, what we're going to look at now are layered pralines. The tray I've got in front of me here, I've divided because I'm going to make 2 different types of layers. The first layer, I'm going to use a real good quality marzipan. which I've pinned out in readiness to drop into the tray as the first layer of the praline. So if we take the marzipan, I'm dropping it straight into the tray. Make sure there's a nice tight fit. On the second side of the tray, I've got a passion fruit ganache. And once again, I'm pouring that onto the tray. Just taking a cloth to cushion the table. I'm just going to lightly pat it out until we get in the corners of the tray. After you've tapped it on the table, if you don't get a perfectly level, even surface, you can then use a trowel palette knife just to move it out backwards and forwards so we get a nice even thickness. And once again, just pat it down before we refrigerate it so it becomes solid before we put the second layer on. So I'm going to pass this to Len now, who's going to place it in the fridge and leave it for 1 to 2 hours, once again depending on the type of filling that you're using. Right, I've taken out my first layer of the praline out of the fridge now. We're looking at the passion fruit on one side and the marzipan on the other side. Just testing it's sufficiently set now to put the second layer on. So the second layer I'm using now is a milk chocolate ganache. So I've made it up in the normal manner, and what I'm doing now, I'm just going to spread it or pour it on top of the passion fruit. Once again, just using a spatula just to help to ease it out to the edges. So we're not overfilling. Bring it right to the edge. If need be, you can just top it up with a little more. And then, holding the bar, pat it down. Now if we go to the marzipan side, same again, in with the ganache. Using the spatula again, just to ease it into the corners. Bringing it to the top. If we need to top up, just top up. And once again, holding the bars, tap down. You can just see there, I've missed a little area. So and there you are. We have a layered praline ready for cutting. We now take it, place it in the fridge, once again until it's fully set, and then we demold. As you can see, layered pralines are a very versatile technique. Once you've mastered this technique, you can create a full range of different flavours and different types of fillings. If we just have a look at what we've got in front of us here, we've got a single layered praline there, which is just a basic ganache. Moving down, we've tried to be a bit more adventurous here, and we've done a double layered praline with, first of all, a dark ganache, but the topping for this, we've done a cheese type type of ganache. And all this is, it's a Yorkshire blue that we've used, and we've emulsified it down with warm cream, and then we've added it to the actual melted white chocolate, which gives it a fantastic combination, really. Then we move down to another double-layered pralinier. For this one, we've got a dark ganache on the base, and then we've covered this with a passion fruit jelly. The jelly's been set with pectin. Moving further down, we've got the actual pralinier mix. We've done two variations with the pralinier mix. We've done straight melted pralinier in one side, and on this side, we did melted pralinier, not too deep, thinking about the depth of the mould, and then we sprinkled it with the 13 biscuits. Then we topped it with the remainder of the actual mixture. At the end here, we've got another combination, and we've got a basic ganache on the top, a milk ganache, but underneath this one, we had a layer of raw marzipan, and under this one, we've got a layer of passion fruit ganache, a white ganache. So once these have all set off, they're then going to be ready for turning out and cutting. And that's going to be the next stage of the process, which we're going to show you in the next video.